Hello, my name is John Q. Czar, and I'm running this promotional video on ET Beings classes to see if people are interested or not. I am wanting to produce a series of downloadable videos that would be easy for you to access. Based upon what you see in this introduction video, I need to know for sure that it's going to be worth my time and effort to produce these classes. Therefore, I'll be relying very heavily upon your reactions to this video to let me know if I should go ahead and proceed with my plans.
We are teacher, and John Czar is our telepathic transcommunicator human.
Hello, I'm John Czar. I'm having some fun before we get started into the introduction to ET Beings world. I want to officially introduce myself. My name is John Q. Czar, and as the newspapers called me many years ago, a kook, which stood for Keepers of Odd Knowledge, I just want to let you know that I am a legit kook, and I'm proud of it, and I'm proud of my association with Teacher and the ET Beings and the others. My spirit mate, Margie, and I both worked for the Department of Defense. She was a blind medical transcriptionist. We both were required to have security clearances. I had a top secret security clearance with cryptographic access for almost 20 years that I was in the military. That is where I saw and did some very interesting things. You can pause wherever you want. All you need to know about the subject at this point are ET language, phone codes, ET math, 13 sun signs in 13 houses, and a brief introduction to understanding legit crop circles both made by ET beings and mankind. I know you're asking how can man-made crop circles be legit, but let's get to those later. Right now, let's just look at a standard telephone and see where the codes are, like 2 is A, B, C, and so forth, and etc. And you can stop this anytime you want, as I said. Let's look at the rules for the phone codes. Half-inch blue graph paper doesn't copy very well, but this is what you should have. Using the blue graph paper, you should write full proper names. The World Trade Center, New York City, the Pentagon, the Senate. Since this is only an introduction to ET Beings phone codes, the calculations are missing. However, this is what your final product should look like when you're finished. I know a lot of people do not like to read a lot of comments, so I will try to simplify it down to a few statements. Was the World Trade Center and Pentagon attack pre-planned on our time of 9/11/2001 by the universe long before mankind walked the face of the earth? Was the Senate destined to not be attacked? Is this verification a fluke of numbers? What about the worldwide tragic events like the RMS Titanic, earthquakes, storms, and etc.? How did the phone codes verify these events, and what is human-wide energy? As explained in my books and the DVD, What If? Did the Mayans and the Incas have the end of days wrong? Or did we miss our calculations possibly by not understanding everything that we should about the Mayans and the Incas' mathematics? Here are the phone codes calculations that verifies NASA's prediction of a major asteroid strike in our future. Do the ET Beings phone codes allow us to predict the future so that possibly we can develop the technology that we need to save the Earth and mankind from total extinction? What if we're so arrogant we totally ignore all the warning signs? When possibly mankind was much younger, we had no written communications. And as mankind moved into the future, not only did we have to figure out how to do this in writing, but we also had to figure out how to do this telepathically. Following is a very brief introduction to ET beings alphabet. This is a 25-letter alphabet for ET beings, and the Q is not a necessary letter. You probably are going to find lots of misspelled words throughout this DVD, and I apologize, but it's because of my 70 years associated with teacher and telepathically communicating phonetically. It has really messed up my spelling as far as the English spelling words are concerned. Sorry about the glitches in my voice, but teacher was telepathically communicating with me. A dot is the only thing that makes it different from uppercase and lowercase. Most words have common endings. You see them written out here. Very common mathematical symbols that most people use in the world. However, as I explained in my books, I did not see these in feet and inches or the meters. I saw everything in the degrees. Teacher was no help, as she said, you'll know when you're supposed to know. Therefore, it took me years to figure out how to convert degrees into something recognizable as far as feet, inches, yards, meters that was usable. Realize it or not, this is the way most humans see things. However, it's converted into feet, inches, yards, meters, decameters, whatever measuring system we're totally familiar with, but not degrees. As I explain in my books, a 6-digit hand points to a suspended hologram. How many inches, feet, yards, meters, or kilometers, or miles is this square? How many degrees is it? What is the single A God of this unit? And what are the multiple O gods of this unit? Now this clear plastic box looks entirely different. Where's the A God in this one? And the O gods? Where's the A God in this? And the O gods? And that ever-nagging question, how many degrees are these? This is just a small sample of what you'll learn on the DVD. How many degrees are in the human circle? Are these 90-degree angles still the same? We have 3 DIs, and ET beings have 6 DIs. Their circle equals segmented degrees, or doubled. What would be pi? No, not doubled. What if I said this is your homework assignment? How many feet, inches, yards, meters, and how many degrees is the single A God? How many individual degrees are the optional and various O gods? Hopefully you'll have a lot of fun learning this and much more on the DVD. How many of you know that our sun actually travels through 13 constellations instead of the 12 constellations that are used in the astrology zodiac? Have you ever heard of the Herculean constellation Ophiuchus? Did the rule makers not use Ophiuchus because it was not in the zodiac ring? Many of you said you have not heard of Ophiuchus before, but how about the caduceus, or the snake wrapped around a wooden stick? Did powerful religious leaders forbid the snake to be used in the astrology? But yet the stick with the coiled snakes around it is the perfect symbol for healers. Could it be a possibility of all these combinations? Or is it because 12 is just an easier number to divide than 13? Unless you're Mayan or Inca and you count different. During the solar year, the sun stays in the constellations different periods of time. Virgo is the largest and Scorpio is the smallest. So technically, 12 equal divisions of a circle is not a true representation. But the 13 unequal segments of a Tsar natal chart is a truer representation. What do the 13 houses of the Tsar natal chart mean? What are the true ruling planets, and what percentage of influence do each planet have upon the sun sign? Abduction coping techniques is something I feel very personal about, as I have been in very heavy negotiations with teacher and other species to reduce the traumatic mental effect that people suffer during abductions. However, my audio book on Amazon.com is made for anybody who wants to feel better about themselves and understand life stresses better. There are 3 rules to remember with all legit crop circles. There's always a line of demarcation with 2 equal sides. You're always looking down and into a crop circle. This spherical viewing plane will always give you a 6D reflective image. You're going to need to use ET math in order to determine the actual size and dimensions of a legit crop circle. First, naturally, this will be in degrees, and then you'll have to be able to convert it to a system that is recognizable. Naturally, this can be yards, or kilometers, or miles, or hundreds of miles. Thanks for watching the E.T. Beings World introduction movie. Be sure to go to Amazon.com and look up all my books under E.T. Beings, John Czar. Teachers contacted me with an urgent teleportation message. I'm out of here. What if?